Today we're going to talk about systems of equations. It says using B for the cost of burgers and F for the cost of fries, N for the cost of nachos, and S for the cost of soda, write equations for each statement below. We worked on this earlier when we did the word problems, but now I want to give you kind of a little bit easier example just to make sure that you understand what we're talking about. So let's look at the first one. It says I've got 2 sodas and 3 burgers, and it's going to cost me $18. So how would I write that equation using the letters above that it told me to in the directions? You should have said that we're going to have 2s plus 3b equals 18. Now let's look at the next one. I've got 5 sodas and 6 burgers, and it cost me $39. So I should have 5s plus 6b equals 39. Let's try the next one. I should have 2 burgers and 2 fries, 2 sodas, and all of that is going to cost me $18. And then my last one is going to be 2 nachos plus 3b plus 2f plus 4s, and all of that is equal to 38. Okay, now you had something similar to this on your test yesterday. Okay, so let's look at some definitions. My first definition says, when used together, these form I need you to write in system. A system of equations, which is a set of 2 or more equations with 2 or more unknowns or variables. So the next one says, the solution to a system lists the values that can be used for each variable to make the equations in the system true. So this one should be solution. Okay, so we're going to look at some samples. Sample number 1 says I have 2x plus 3y minus 4z equals negative 3, and x minus z equals 4, and I also have negative x minus 2y plus 3z equals 4. This is something similar you saw in your test as well yesterday. Okay, from here, it says that this is going to be a 3 by 3 system. And the reason it's a 3 by 3 system of equations is because it uses 3 variables and it has 3 equations. So here it says which of the following would be a solution to this system. Now, if you notice, we have 3 answer choices. I have got A, B, and C. Now, you can use elimination and substitution, which I will actually teach you guys later on next week. However, what would be a really easy way to make sure that this answer is correct? Hopefully, some of you had said that I could just plug in my numbers into the equations. And what I mean by plugging it in, okay, my answer choice for A is x equals negative 4, y equals negative 1, and z equals 2. I'm going to take those specific values and I'm going to plug them in everywhere that I see an x. I'm going to take my y value and plug it in anywhere I see a y. And I'm also going to take my z value and plug it in where I see a z. When I multiply this in the calculator, if I get negative 3, I know that that's correct. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the second equation. If it doesn't work out to be negative 3, then I know that can't be the right answer, so I'm going to move on to B. So whenever I actually plug all those in, you should get answer choice C. And I want you to go ahead and try this because this is what you're going to be doing tomorrow. So let's look at sample number 2. Sample number 2 says I got 2x minus 7y equals 9 and y equals 1/2 x minus 3. This is something that should look very familiar to you. It's what you've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Here, this is going to be what we call a 2 by 2 system. And why do you think it's called a 2 by 2 system? That's right. It's got 2 variables. And it has 2 equations. Okay, so here it says which ordered pair shows the solution to this system. Now with this particular equation, there are 3 different ways you can solve it, or actually there's 4. I could use the same exact thing I did in sample 1 where I plug in my answer choices because I have answer choices. If I didn't have answer choices, what other ways could I solve this equation? Hopefully some of you said elimination, substitution. I could graph them and find the intersection. So depending on which way you did it, it shouldn't matter. You should have still gotten the answer choice B of 8, 1. Now from here, I want you to look at 3 and 4. It says below, I want you to circle the correct solution to each equation. How can you determine the solution? What I want you to do on 3 and 4 is work both of those problems out. On number 3, you can use graphing, substitution, elimination, or you can plug your answer choices in to verify that they are correct. Same thing with number 4. Number 4, I want you to actually plug in your answer choices because, again, I have not taught you how to use elimination or substitution with a 3x3 system. Okay, for those of you who know how to use the matrix, you may use that as well. And again, I will teach you that next week. Okay, so your homework for tonight is to work questions 3 and 4. I will ask plenty of questions tomorrow in class over these to see who has watched the video. And we will finish the back page on this tomorrow in class.